Hey, this is Lisa Ealy, and I'm your host of Profit Friday and your HR Profit Strategist at HR for Profit. I know that's a lot of profit, but today's Friday, and it's Friday is Profit Day. So today I have a special guest with me, and y'all already know me that I have a hard time pronouncing people's names. And so I'm hoping that I do not butcher this. And it's Victor Jacques. Is that right?
Jakes. Yeah, pretty much.
Almost.
Yeah. Don't worry, nobody gets that right. Everybody
Okay.
look like
See,
Jakes.
see, that's the running joke with me as in HR. Either I didn't remember people's names. Now I remember like your story and your face and all the other stuff and the amazing things, but like how to pronounce names, I don't know what it is. I've been in HR way longer than I like to admit, but it is what it is. But today I want to tell you, I have had the pleasure of being in a mastermind for a year with Victor. And I've also had the blessed privilege of working with him and helping him to build and scale his team. So today is really exciting, and I am going to get us started. But first, I'm going to allow Victor to introduce himself so y'all can know a little bit more about him before we go in with our questions. So, Victor, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Lisa. My name is Victor Jakes. I'm the owner and lead designer of VAJ Design, and we specialize in all visual design as it relates to your brand. So your logos and your websites, your digital media, your mobile apps, all those type of things.
Cool. All righty. So, tell us a little bit now. I know everybody has goals for their year, right? So, when we talk about like our profit goals and those kind of things, so how are you doing this year? You don't have to reveal numbers, but are you on track to be where you want to be in your business this year from a sales and profitability standpoint?
Uh, Probably not yet, but I will be. Things are in motion.
Okay, good. So, and I know you have a team
Yep.
as well. So if it's anything that based on what you've planned to do and what you have in the works between now and the end of the year, right? Do you feel like anything related to people, process, systems, tools could impede you or prevent you from getting there?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's always room for improvement in terms of automation. So, that's part of the plan. So if I drop the ball on that aspect of it, that could be a bit of a risk. There is my marketing and promotion that I need to really I need to get on the ball when it comes to that. Um, I think those are probably the two big things, marketing, promotion, and automation. Um, but like I said, I have everything is moving in the right direction, so I have confidence that I'll stay on top of things.
Got it. That's good. So with that, do you feel like and I know you have multiple team members that are supporting all the efforts, but do you feel like if you could free up some of your time, some more of your time, to have a little bit more time and attention, and I'm going to say even energy, right, to work on automation and the marketing promotion, um, like what would that look like? Like if you could offload something or be in a position where, you know, uh, you could spend more time focusing on that instead of maybe blocking and tackling internal to the business. What would that look like?
So you mean what would it look like in terms of the solution, or like what the outcome would look like?
Yeah, like so right now you may be, so I'll give you an example.
Mhm.
Um, as a CEO of your business, um, we all have, I'm going to call it a dinner plate in front of us. And it's, if you look at the standard American diet, there's vegetables on it, there's a protein source, right? And there's typically some sort of grain as well, right? And so if we split our plate as a CEO into three buckets, so we are externally focused on bringing in new business. We are focused on making sure we have the money and the resources for our business to grow and scale and make a profit. And we're also focused on the internal workings to make sure that we can deliver on our promises for our clients and wow them and get them to either refer us or to become repeat customers. Those are primarily the things that we work on. So out of those things, it sounds like your automation is internally focused, how you're operating. But marketing is externally focused because it's driven on getting in more dollars,
Right.
which can fuel growth and all other kinds of things, right? So out of those three buckets, right, are there things that you could offload to someone else so that you could focus more on the one internal aspect, which is automation, and the second, which is literally your bread and butter, is profit?
Right. So I guess what would if I could offload something to really free up my time, it would probably be um, um, some of the internal things that I'm still doing in terms of uh, like design reviews. So all the design still has to come through me. So I have my team of designers who are working on everything, but I still need to make sure that I get eyes on things and and give the approval before handing off to the client for feedback. Um, that and the project management side of things. I do have a project um, coordinator in place right now, and she's great. She actually does most of it. I still do a little bit of it, but if that could be entirely offloaded off of my plate, in addition to like the design reviews and things, that would really help me, free up some bandwidth for me to focus on making sure the automation is where it needs to be, both internally and externally, by the way, because I do need some automation implemented into my, but externally as far as marketing goes, getting people on the call, like really having more of an end-to-end process for like lead magnet to like booking a call, um, or when a new client comes in, they need a new project. Um, having more of an automated process for the intake part of the project in order to get started, because we need to get a lot of information up front from a client in terms of if they have an existing brand already, we need to know what is their like the aesthetic, the tone of their brand, who's their target audience, what brand elements do they do they currently have. There's a lot of intake that we need to take in before we can really get started to make sure that what we're doing aligns with their current brand, unless we're building it from scratch. But even if we're building it from scratch, there's still intake, because we got to get a lot of background on them and the mission and the business and all of that in order to build it. So some automation there would really help, because all of that right now is pretty much done very manually. I got to get on a call with folks and run through all of that.
Got it. Got it. So that's good. That's good. That's good stuff. So we have some things to work with. So I I'm gonna say, if you could free up some of your time, then that gives you also the middle capacity as well, and the time capacity to work on some of these other things, right? So um what does it look like? Are there steps that lead up to a final design? And how is that submitted to you? Are you reviewing it at a certain time? Like if you have like a timeline with something, like how is that outlined for you?
Yeah, so the way that we handle that, so there's a few different moving parts to that. One, we track the progress of all our projects in Asana, which I know you're familiar with that tool.
Yeah.
And then we have um, essentially like a template that I've created for my team to use so that they can plug in the different uh, versions of whatever design they're working on to get client feedback. So I actually take a look at that first, and it's literally broken out by like different pages. It's a multi-page document. Here's option one. Here's the here's the concept behind this one and the aesthetic behind this one. And then page two is option two, blah, blah. So then I review that document. I give feedback to my team to make whatever changes, if any changes are needed, before it's then sent over to the client. So once it gets my stamp of approval, then either myself or my project coordinator will go ahead and send that over to the client. Say, hey, here's the first round or the second round or the third round of the design for this. Give us your feedback, what you like, don't like. Um, is one of these good to go, or do we need to go back and make some additional changes? So that's at a high level how that
Got
works.
it. Got it. So I know everybody's on an AI kick from that standpoint. And so the immediate thing that comes to mind for me is one is to challenge. So, like the gap that you feel in the process. So, you could do one or two things. You could actually do something called a time study, right? So, I am really into trying to eliminate waste, especially with time, because time is our most valuable resource
Absolutely.
from that standpoint. And so you may want to say, there's some apps out there, even some free apps, or just your phone, or if you have like a smartwatch, and begin to time yourself with different activities to understand really how much time is it taking, right? And so, and what are the steps? And we also in project management, it's literally called the critical path. So the things that are not part of the critical path can be eliminated. So one of the things I'll share this really quick with you that I learned and that I'm learning, right? Because we're all like learning about the AI technology, is to take something and ask, I'm going to call it Chatty, our assistant Chatty, or Charles, whatever you want to say, our assistant Charles is going to analyze what we're doing. And this is how much time it's taking me, and tell us what is the critical path to success, right? And then and literally saying that this is my team and this is their role, responsibility. You just copying and pasting in there and saying, before I give you any more prompts, analyze this, and it's going to literally analyze it, right? And give you the steps. So why not use technology to really figure out how the steps could be enhanced or improved, or how could you add the things that you don't want to do? If you identify, I don't want to do step 2, 3, 4, 5, how could I improve that? And then see what your assistant Charles says, right? How does that feel? That's one thing I got, and I got something else too. How does that feel?
Yeah, that sounds like on point. I mean, I already have plans to go into, like I said, a deeper dive into some automation and AI tools to to improve process overall and streamline. That particular suggestion wasn't one that I thought of, but I think that's a good one.
Sure, sure,
Definitely.
absolutely. And then I'm going to say the other thing too is also analyzing up front. So creating, if you want to say a roadmap that summarizes what the client is asking for so that it's easier for the designer to understand.
Absolutely.
Not just that, but I'm going to say this, it still has a human interaction with it, but even recommending how you could tweak image, logo, other things. You could ask those questions of your assistant, Charles.
Oh, that's a
You
good
could
idea.
train them, right?
That's a good idea too.
Right. So it saves time. So what I'm saying is that we all have access to something that is really generationally shifting, right? Like this is 100-year kind of like invention. I mean, I've even seen in some AI tools online that you can't be under 18 to use it because they don't know like it could go a lot of places,
Yeah.
right? It could go a lot of places. So it's definitely eye-opening. So that's one thing. So for sure, like think about that and like saying, ask the questions, like the common questions that you would want answered as well, right? So we're gonna put a pin in that. This is the other thing. So there, you probably seen it. It's called Loom. And
Yep.
so remember in kindergarten and first grade, a lot in kindergarten, I would say, we had show and tell.
Yep.
Show and tell still works. It still works. And so it's two ways to use Loom. One way you can use Loom is um, is talking to your team and having them talk back to you, right? Then it saves time because you're showing them and telling them what you're talking about, and you don't have to meet with them. So say, you have a meeting at 1 o'clock. Well, I don't know. You had an idea at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if that happens to you, but you had an idea about something, at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you just pull it up, share it, record the Loom, send it to the team. You need it by the end of the day. They got the whole day or whatever it is or whatever time, and they could be on a different time zone. So now time doesn't really impact stuff. Like we don't have to be on the call. They can even interact in Loom and have questions and feedback, and then they can like add to it, and then you can have questions and feedback and go back and forth.
That's a good idea. So it's funny. I already do that, but only one way. So when I do my design reviews, unless it requires us to both be on the call at the same time, I do screen recordings of my feedback from my team.
Okay, good.
And I send that to them. However, but the two-way communication uh, using that method is a good idea. I hadn't really thought about that. Sometimes it's really difficult to convey ideas and thoughts and feedback, just by typed out. So having the freedom to actually record your screen and your voice and show exactly what you're talking about and have people be able to hear what you're saying as you walk them through it makes it a lot easier. But getting that in reverse would also be helpful and save time. So I could definitely implement something like that.
Right. And then not just that, but you're also educating and you get to understand their thought process with why they did certain things a certain way. Absolutely. And right. So the show and tell is powerful. Because one of the things that we had when we worked in the office before, people worked over in over the pond and all of that. And now a lot of people are full virtual teams, is that you can literally just stand up and walk down the hallway and say, yeah, show me the thing. Right. But we are now living in a world where we can use the tools that we have, right, to be able to create an environment that works for us despite time and distance, right?
Absolutely.
As well. So I would encourage you to think that through as well, and make it a two-way conversation and not just a one-way. And even consider another way, two more ways to use Loom. One would be the work in progress towards the thing, right? If that's even possible, to get earlier feedback from your client before you've gone through all these iterations and you gave a final thing, but you say, we're going to give you a preview of the designs, and then they could just interface before you get to the final, because then you could get to the final, right? So if I equated it, I would say it's kind of like when you and I worked together on hiring your person. Before I presented the final, like I sent the resume, what do you think?
Yep.
And I sent a write-up. So it's the same kind of concept, right? From that. So that's two ways, right? That's two ways. So one is using AI to determine and do a time study, using AI to determine what are wasted steps and how you can improve the steps of doing something. That's two. The third thing that can help you with this, right? So you can free up your time and your thinking to be able to focus more on more automations and more marketing promotions, is, and you mentioned sales. So inside of Loom, and the only reason why I know this is because somebody sent it to me, right? And I'm happy to share it. And anyone who's watching this, if you want to see what I'm talking about with the sales thing, send me a note, sales, DM me, and I will send it to you. But I received a email, and another time I received like a message on LinkedIn in my inbox from someone who was trying to make me an offer, right? And I simply responded because it was like, it sounded interesting. So maybe her name was Chelsea. And then Chelsea passed me off to the outreach sales rep, right? And then the sales rep, what he did was, it was a two-part loom. He sends these looms out. Literally, I think the process is, and I did a little research, is 10 a day. So first thing in the morning, he says, hey, Victor, right? So you know it's me, I'm live, right? Hi, Victor. I made this video just for you because Chelsea told me that you were interested in our design services, right? So I want to walk you through what's possible. Then in the Loom, he had already recorded his steps, like his onboarding, his like sales pitch. But he added this 15-second thing, and it literally was a card like this that he held up, that he wrote out with my name on it. Right? And I was like, man. And then in the bottom of the Loom, he had the information. And in the corner, like up in the corner, right, he had a little button to book a call.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
right?
really,
And the thing about it was, all he's doing every day is this. And I was blown away, because I'm gonna be doing this.
That's a real good idea.
Right?
Yeah, I saw a similar thing.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's still Loom, right? And then it just went to like whatever his thing was. And then of course, after people sign up, you could do like a couple mini videos. You could ask AI, what do I need to let people know about working with a design firm? These are the things that we do. Can you give me 2, 3 mini videos to prepare them for the call? And in the call, you could do some client testimonials or case studies, whatever you want to call them. And then that way you build your deck, your stack. in your favor. And you haven't done anything but this today, but this 10 every day.
Yeah.
Hi, Victor. I was blown away. So so that's a lot, right? Like I'm unpacking a lot. So tell me, does any of the things that I refer to, what are the 2 or 3 things that you feel like you could implement relatively quickly that could make an impact and drive what you said, more automation or capacity for you to think about more automation and be in a position where you can free your schedule up some hour a day, 2 hours a day to plan for marketing promotions.
Yeah.
So tell me what you're going to do.
So I definitely like that last idea about those videos, those custom videos to send out to folks. I'd seen something similar. Someone had sent me a video like that on LinkedIn one time, just introducing himself and his business, and possible opportunities for us to collaborate, which was I thought was great, and it's always been in the back of my mind to do things like that as well. So as you bring that up again this time, I'm like, yep, I definitely need to do something like that. And the other one I'd probably say is, as far as like the internal rounds of feedback between me and my team, um, which is video again. I think that will really help to kind of speed things along, and cut down on the trying to translate everything as typed out text.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So good. So this is what I want to say. We already know that once you identify what you want to do, nothing can really happen. A change can't happen. You can't benefit if you don't take action. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to taking action?
I mean, I'm definitely committed. Like I would say 9, 10.
Okay. Okay. Do you feel like anything will hold you back from taking action, at least on those 2 things that you agreed to?
I mean, the only thing that could hold me back is just getting, like tied up in some big fire or something that one of my clients, something comes up, a big thing that, I get sucked into and tied into. But even still, I mean, all that would do is delay. Nothing's really going to stop me from taking action. Just, the only thing that could happen is I can be delayed. That's it. Yeah.
Got it. So the next thing is, when are you going to plan this, right? So a coach of mine used to call it hold space on your calendar. So ideally, you need to take action in holding space. That just means I am going to work out the back and forth with my team on video and Loom with review. And this is what reviewing, this is what I'm looking for, and clarify the expectations with them, right? So you're going to work it out in your head, and then you're going to schedule the time. Those are 2 things, right? And then hold the team accountable. That's how it happens.
Yep.
So when are you going to do step 1? Because the sooner you do step 1, the more likely 2 and 3 come.
Yeah. So it's funny you bring this up, because this is on my agenda for, if not tomorrow, then early next week, where I'm actually going to sit down and work out a schedule for how my weeks are going to be structured. Because I don't have that now. It's been something that I need to do, but with some upcoming changes I got coming in the next week, I've already planned that. Okay, as some of my days are going to start to shift, I'm going to take, more control over how my days look now. So I'll set like, certain tasks that need to be done on certain days or certain blocks of time and certain days. And this is definitely going to be one of those things that incorporate into there.
Got it. So I'm going to encourage you that when we get done, that you literally put a primary time to do that thing and a secondary time. And what happens often with our own calendars, especially as entrepreneurs who are service-based, is that we don't honor our own tasks, right? Because this is going to free up a lot of things for you. And then the second part of it is scheduling, holding space for the other video. And even if you decided to delegate it to your project coordinator as a special project to research and come back to me with a plan of action, right? I'll give you this. There's even on Loom, they talk about how they use it. And I will do two things. I'll forward you the email I was sent, and I'll forward you the video that I was sent. So then you could see real life, like this week, what that looked like. And then use that as information for your team to say, okay, you don't have to always go figure everything out, right? But sometimes they can figure it out and come back to you with a solution, and then you can say yay or nay, or this or that, right? As well. That's the benefit of having a team. Absolutely. So let me ask you this. Was this helpful to you?
Yes, absolutely. Definitely.
Okay. And how so? And how did you feel about having a profit first coaching in 32 minutes now?
I mean, it's definitely beneficial. I think as entrepreneurs, we often, we're always in a state of like motion, where there's a lot of things going on, a lot of different pieces, and we always have to like prioritize and reprioritize all the things on our list. So often we have these ideas. We're like, okay, we know we need to do this, we know we need to do this, we know we need to do this. And sometimes we just don't get around to them, or sometimes, we just haven't put enough thought into being the most strategic about how to get around to those things. So sometimes just sitting down and having these type of these sessions can really help, because it can bring even maybe ideas that you are sitting in the back of your mind, but there wasn't a solid plan on how to do it. These type of things help.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I'm glad that we were able to move the needle in the right direction, using some tools, a new system, process, and using your people, like literally, like all the things. And so, Victor, let everybody know how they can get in contact with you if they're interested in working with you for design work that you do. And also, if you have like something going on now that you want to share.
Sure, absolutely. So as you can see here on my background, my website, I'm pointing the wrong way over here. VAJdesign.com is where you can find me. I'm also on Instagram and on Facebook. Facebook is VAJ Design. Instagram is VAJ_design. Right now we have, well, just in general, what we do is we basically make all your things look damn good. When it comes to your offers, when it comes to your events, when it comes to your social media. So anything you got like in those areas coming up, and you'd like some design help, then feel free to reach out. We are running a special right now on an offer. It's an offer branding package, essentially. So if you're launching a new offer of any kind of product or service, there's things that you'll need, like your social media graphics, your like a a video overlay for going live and being able to talk about it, a virtual background like what I have here, and we have those bundled together, at a reasonable price. So, interested in that or anything else, feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Well, it was great. And remember, Profit First. The link below, you'll be able to get your own Profit First complimentary coaching session, and let us get you get your people, problems, solutions, and more profits all in one. Take care.
Appreciate it. Thank you.